Yo, what's going on, guys? Today is probably going to be the last bossing video of the league, and this time I did 100 screaming and 100 incandescent invitations, which basically means I killed 100 Uber Eater of Words and Uber Searing Exarchs. And this bossing strategy is just pure gamble, not like the Cyrus, where with Cyrus you just get a nice, good, consistent profit. These two bosses are probably the most RNG bosses that we have right now in PoE, even more RNG than Uber Maven, because they are actually pretty expensive. I was buying them for 1.2 exalts, so 200 of them in total basically is 240 exalts. And now let me quickly show you the loot table in case you don't know what we are hoping for. So here is loot from Searing Exarch. We have two uniques, staff and shield, which aren't really worth anything, and from Eater of Words there's a bow and boots, which also are not worth anything. Eater of Words also drops a jewel, which you can actually sell for 3 exalts, and Searing Exarch drops jewel that is actually also not really worth anything. So in terms of these items, Eater of Words is winning by a little bit, because to be honest, this jewel actually has a pretty low chance to drop. But the biggest thing is, obviously, most of the people know it, the biggest thing you can drop is Ashes of the Stars from Eater of Words and Chrysalite Omniscience from Searing Exarchs. And both of these amulets go for between 35 and 40 exalts depending on the day. And on top of that we have some additional loot like Eldritch Currency and the Chaos Exalts and Annulments, the Eldritch ones, so you're gonna get a decent amount of them. And the last thing, which is also very RNG, is Forbidden Flesh and Forbidden Flame Jewel. And for some reason Forbidden Flame is actually much more expensive than the Flesh. In case you don't know, for example, Gathering Winds one, Forbidden Flesh is worth around 10 exalts right now, and the Forbidden Flame is 40 exalts. So generally the red ones are much more expensive than the green ones. And I don't really know why. The only thing I can think of is because the red one doesn't have the expensive jewel, and also the red one probably for most of the builds is going to take a little bit longer to kill. So maybe that's the reason why the red ones are more expensive. I don't really know. Now let me show you the Atlas passive tree. So obviously I was going for the Uber ones, so these are basically two main things you have to go for. These don't really matter, you only care about this one and this one. And in terms of the red one, you should expect to get 50% more Eldritch Currency overall, because they have a chance to be duplicated. For the green one, you have 25% chance to drop additional Ichor. So this one should give you more Eldritch Ichors, and this one should give you more just overall Exalts, Annuls, and the Eldritch Chaos Orbs. Also, you can go for Height of Hubris, which will give increased effect of modifiers, and you can roll these ones with Alchemy Orbs, so this is also gonna increase the quantity by 100%. But the only thing that quantity affects, I believe, is only the Eldritch Currency that you drop. So it's not really that big of a deal to not go for it. And when I was doing some testing, it was actually, even for my build, pretty hard to do the Uber versions of these bosses with 100% increase of modifiers. So I decided to not go for this one. The last thing you care about is this one. Actually, not this one, this one. Eldritch bosses have 20% chance to drop Conqueror map. So the basically Searing Exarch and Eater of Words, both of them are gonna drop Conqueror maps. And Conqueror maps are obviously pretty expensive, so you can go for it. It's not gonna be like crazy amount of them, but yeah, it's gonna be some additional profit. Now in terms of the rolling, I actually was going for at least 25% quantity of them, and I was also removing some of the extra life modifiers like this one, because I wanted the fights to be shorter. So I would remove this. Here's another more life. Here is life as energy shield, so I would also reroll this. Another life as energy shield. reduce effect of auras, and this is also a lot of damage reduction. So this one I would keep. So yeah, at least 50%. You probably can go for more, but I just didn't want to do them like super hard. And this actually did cost me quite a lot of Chaos Orbs to reroll them. In total, I believe I lost 400 Chaos Orbs to reroll all of them. Okay, so now let me show you the examples. So first let's do the incandescent one. And this one usually would take a little bit longer, depending on the RNG. Sometimes you have to do the intermission phase like 3 times, and sometimes you only have to do it like once, or maybe even 0. Let's see how lucky I am gonna be here. Oh, looks like it's gonna be lucky one. He did the incineration phase, ability. It basically did let me skip the whole intermission phase. But yeah, usually this fight would take much longer than the other one. And this one, usually there's gonna be one intermission phase, but that phase you can actually very easily skip. Also, if I get hit by the tentacles, I pretty much just die. But it doesn't really matter. So let's see. Okay. Didn't skip again. See if he's gonna do the intermission. He's doing intermission, so now I would actually just go and die, because it is faster to just die rather than just doing the whole intermission phase. So as you can see, he's done with it. For hunger, I just run away. For Sakampa, I just go behind him, and the fight is done. And I died again. Unlucky. But yeah, in whole 100 maps, I did not fail a single incandescent or the Screaming Invitation. And yeah, that's basically it in terms of the fights. As you can see, it didn't really drop anything. Now let's look at the loot. So, Eater of Words, you can see all of the bows and boots, which are not really worth anything. Searing Exarchs, same thing, a lot of staffs and shields. And here is some additional shields. In terms of loot, you can see quite a lot of Conqueror maps. Here are all of the jewels and Dissolution of Flesh. Here are Crimson Temple maps, all of the Eldritch currency, and I did end up with 3 Crystallite Omniscience. With Eater of Words, as you can see, a little bit less Conqueror maps for some reason. I guess it's just RNG, only 1 Crimson Temple. Overall, I believe less jewels and more Eldritch Ichors, as you can see, but less, less Eldritch currency. So here you can see 7, 7, and 15, and here 6, 14, and 16, so a little bit more. But as you can see, the biggest difference is from Eater of Words, I did not get a single Ashes of the Stars. And average chance to get them is 2%, so on average I should get 2, and here I also should get 2, but I got 3. So unfortunately I got a little bit unlucky. Okay, so now let's look at the spreadsheet and see if I actually did make profit, even though I didn't get any amulets here. Let's see. So as you can see, Searing Exarch, it took me 2 hours and investment was 120 exalts. Here you can see all of the uniques that I got. Here's all of the loot from just random stuff, so Eldritch currency and so on, so 5,000 in total. Here are all of the jewels that I got. So from the Searing Exarch, actually I got quite a lot of expensive ones. So Shaper of Flames, Master of Metal, and Brutal Fervor and Aspect of Carnage are the expensive ones. So in total 7,000 chaos. And the best one is, I believe, this one, Brutal Fervor. 3 Crystallite Omniscience, so in total 19,000 chaos, and each one of them I believe costs around 36 exalts. So yeah, in total I did make actually 54 exalts profit, so 27 X per hour basically. But now let's look at the Eater of Words, and you immediately can see that I actually lost money from doing Eater of Words, and I actually lost more money than I made from the Searing Exarch. And funny thing is, from the Eater of Words I actually got some nice jewels. For example, I got the Gathering Winds, And like I mentioned earlier, the green jewels, Gathering Winds, it's only 10 exalts. And actually it was 11 when I was checking. And if I got Gathering ones from the red one, it would be 40 exalts. So a little bit unlucky here that I actually got the good ones in this one. But still I got a decent amount of money in here. So yeah, in total only 3.7k from the green jewels. I got 0 Ashes of the Stars, and from overall loot 5800 C, and that includes 2 Melding the Flesh jewels. So in total I actually lost 66 exalts from this test, but this one was a bit shorter, so only 1.3 hours. So in total 3.3 hours, and I lost 12 exalts. So far this league, and I guess with the last test of this league when it comes to bossing, I ended up actually losing money. Now I actually was even thinking about maybe doing a few more of the Ether Forts until I basically get 1 Ashes of the Stars, but it is still a gamble. I could not get a single one even for like 200-300 kills, so I decided to not go for it and I guess take my losses. And now not only I lost 12 exals, but now I also have to sell all of this random stuff, so it's gonna take a while probably to sell them, especially since the league is kinda dead at this moment of the league, and I don't really expect stuff to sell super fast. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.